this is Pearl, and I'm turning 21 next week. 20 years of living on this planet Earth. I would like to make my debut introduction video. I'll be posting poems in the coming future once a week and updating them, talking about my story, my tears, and my monumental trophies that I got. So, and to inspire you guys, people on the internet. Okay, here are a few things you should know about me. So, I like to use the description of Sammy Beethoven in some ways to describe my disability on my left ear. And you will get to know there are a few most ironic and tragic archetype that establish my characters. First of all, I'm born and raised in a single parenthood family, and Chinese girl. But both of my parents are Taiwanese, so I have serious identity crisis and culture clashes and whatever. But moving on, most of my time I'm not recognized a good performer at school. So before meeting good teachers and good inspiration and supporters, I was definitely a mess. So I'm very grateful for all the teachers who supported me. I'll be listing the names at the end of the video, or yes, I'll be typing them down. So I was homeschooled for 3 years, purposeless, just take out from school. And weird is definitely labeled to what my name were, but I'm introduced to athletics, and socializing was a daily practice for my situation because I grew up in a very corrupted place. So hospitality, you can just read the Odyssey. So a few things to know about me at the end of schooling highlights, but because 20 years of living, school was most of the time environment you're exposed to. I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA, but I didn't go to college due to crazy amount of the cost for tuition. And this serious financial burden is not the choice that I will ever put myself into. Due to the situation of this cultural phenomenon, choosing your favorite major doesn't really make sense, or getting into the tuition debt is not what I aim for, because you'll be trapped in a life you need to pay your debt for 8 years or whatever. You don't even know, nothing is guaranteed. But without this debt, same amount of the 8 years, maybe there's a lot of miracles that can happen. So here are the 3 things that was my surviving tactic, the principles that I live up to, that actually created miracles for me. Here we are. So 3 things that I learned throughout the 20 years. So your worst enemy is not everything external factor that actually try to influence you, but your own ignorance, your own egotism, laziness, cockiness, just ignorance. This is going to be the worst enemy. If you can recognize this, please do. If you have the self-awareness, congratulations, you're at a good place to start. The second thing that I learned is that just like any plant, if it wants to grow, you need to have all the basic essentials: water, soil, sunshine, fertilizer, right? If you do not have if you recognize that this surrounding living environment is not able to fulfill all of these requirements, you always have a choice to make your exit plan or whatever. I don't want to make this pro individualism, but pro disconnect or detach, but you have the responsibility for yourself. You have the responsibility to take action, to remove yourself out of a place if you wanted to grow. And this is what I have applied to, and it took me 2 years to be here, where I am now. 1 year anniversary. So 3 years of making it happen. 1 year anniversary for me to be stable. That is just the most blissful miracle that happened once you determine your mind to it. So this leads to the third point. If you have a goal, be clear about it. Be clear on identifying your vision. Be able to identify what are the distractions you don't want, and start adding the goals, like specifics, steps. What are the things you need to do, and what are the skills that requires, miracles to happen or achievements is, it all requires on the actions you put out to. So if you have a goal, you set clarity. I will use a quote from the ancient Chinese as 物可而后知至，知而后意诚，意诚而后心正，心正而后身修，身修而后家齐，家齐而后国治，国治而后天下平。So if you wanted to make things happen, you need to be focused and clear, and stable is the foundation of all the progress. So 3 things these are the 3 things I wanted to share, and you'll be my witness of how a marginalized individual is going to crack the code to get out of this absurd adversity. And I'm going to share with you my poems, my art, and my trophies. See you soon, and thank you.